Hello dear students, we had already discussed three stanzas of the poem The Schoolboy by William Blake, and today we will be discussing the remaining stanzas of this poem. So let's start with the discussion of stanza 4 of the poem The Schoolboy. In this stanza the poet has said, "How can the bird that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? How can a child when fears annoy but droop his tender wing, and forget his youthful spring?" So here the poet has criticized the school system, and through a school child he is raising many questions. So here the schoolboy raises a number of questions. He says, how can the bird that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? That means he is comparing himself to a caged bird, a bird in a cage. The student is comparing himself to a caged bird, and like the caged bird, he too loses joy in the school. Okay, caged bird which is born to remain free. A bird is supposed to remain free, but once it is pushed inside the cage, it loses its freedom. In the same way, the student, he also craves for independence, and he loses all the joy in the school. And school for the child is a cage. So he is saying, how can a student that is born for joy, a student who is born for joy, sit in a cage and sing? Like a bird, he cannot sit there in the school. School is like a cage for him. Next he asks, how can a child when fears annoy but droop his tender wing and forget his youthful spring? What does he want to say here? Here he says that a child who is scared by the teachers and parents cannot forget the joy of freedom when he keeps his wings locked. Thus he remains joyless and longs for the freedom. A child when fears annoy, when the child is full of fears, when he is being annoyed by the fears of the teacher, of the parents, how can he enjoy the freedom, or how can he enjoy with the drooped tender wings? Okay, the birds when they sit, they droop their tender wings. And in the same way, a child when is under the instructions and when is under the supervision feels as if he has drooped his wings. He finds himself as if he is tied. Okay, he is put into the prison, and in that condition he forgets all his youthful spring, youthful joy. So he remains joyless and longs for the freedom. Okay, here this is what the poet wants to say. Now let's move to the next paragraph. Sorry, not paragraph, but next stanza. Stanza number 5. Okay, what is it about? O father and mother, if buds are nipped and blossoms blown away, and if the tender plants are stripped of their joy in the springing time by sorrow and care's dismay. Springing day. O father and mother, if buds are nipped and blossoms blown away, and if the tender plants are stripped of their joy in the springing day by sorrow and care's dismay. What he wants to say? In this stanza, he is in conversation with his parents. He says that if like a flower's buds. The children's freedom, the child's freedom is snatched away, and its flowers, that is joy, blown away. And if newly grown twigs means newly acquired joy by a child, are removed at the time of spring. Spring means when the child has started growing up. He, like the flower plant, will be left in sorrow and dismay. So here the child is conversing with his parents, fathers and mothers. If the buds of the flowers are nipped, if they are destroyed, damaged, buds are damaged, and blossoms, if they are destroyed, they are blown away, then in the same way, if the tender plants are stripped, if the plants at the time of their growth, if they are stripped, they are damaged, they are destroyed, they are spoiled of their joy in the springing day, can you think that they will be having very good time in future? Will they be having any springtime? They will be followed by sorrow and cares and dismay. Means, again, listen to me carefully. In this stanza, he is conversing with his parents and says that if like a flower's buds, the child's freedom is snatched away, and if its flowers are blown away, and if newly grown twigs are removed at the time of spring, the child, like a flower plant, will be left in sorrow and dismay. He will be full of troubles in the springtime. Okay. Now, last stanza. How shall the summer arise in joy, or the summer fruits appear? Again the question. He is questioning. How shall the summer arise in joy? This stanza continues from the previous stanza. This is the part of previous stanza. According to the poet, how summer can be joyful when the buds of flowers are cut, the flower threw away and twigs removed away? How can be the summer joyful if the buds of the flowers are cut and flowers are thrown away, and if the twigs are removed away? The fruit of summer would never appear. Thus, how plants mean children, would be able to get the fruit which has been destroyed? Plants won't get any fruit because the fruit has already been destroyed at its birth time only, at its growth time only. In the same way, children won't be having a very good future if their childhood is spoiled. How can the summer be a blessing when the blast of winter appears? Okay. So summer cannot be blessing for them. Right? The final stanza is actually metaphorical. Metaphorical means it's here the comparison has been made. The schoolboy compares the children to the spring plants which have been destroyed. According to him, like the flowers, the children too need freedom for efficient growth. If their freedom is snatched away and their joy buds are cut off because of schools, they will never be able to get properly educated and hence serve the society. The poem is thus a criticism on the way the schools impart education. Okay, dear students, so this was all about the poem which has been written by William Blake, and William Blake has written a book, Songs of Innocence and Experience, and this poem has been taken from Songs of Innocence, where he writes about the children, life of innocence, life of children who are very innocent in their childhood. Okay. Now about the question answer part. Okay. So first question is, what is it? Find 1 minute. Yes. find 3 or 4 words, phrases in the stanza 1 that reflect the child's happiness and joy. So the words and phrases that reflect the child's happiness are the songs of birds and the skylark and the sound of hunter's horn. These may be 3 or 4 phrases or birds. Okay. And question 2 is, in stanza 2, the mood changes with words, phrases reflect the changed mood. So you have to tell the words and phrases which reflect the changed mood. So the words, phrases reflecting the child's mood are drives all joy away. Okay. Drives all joy away. You can see here. Here it is. But to go to the school in summer morn, it drives all joy away. Then cruel and outborn eyes of the teacher. Cruel eye outborn. Cruel eye outborn. Then sighing and dismay. Here are those words or phrases. Okay. Then question number 3. A cruel eye outborn. Stanza 2 refers to the classroom which is shabby, noisy, the lessons which are difficult or uninteresting, and then the dull, uninspiring life at school with lots of work and no play. Mark the answer that you consider right. The correct answer is option C. The dull, option 3 means an uninspiring life at school with lots of work and no play. Then question number 4. What is question number 4? See here. Not sit in learning born through with the dreary shower. Which of the following is a close paraphrase of the lines above? Right? Just see in your textbook. I too am looking at the textbook. Nor can I sit in the roofless classroom when it rains, it is raining. Nor can I learn anything at school, the teachers go on lecturing and explaining. Nor can I sit in the school garden for fear of getting wet in the rain. So the correct answer would be option 2. Nor can I learn anything at school, thou teachers go on lecturing and explaining. Okay. So this was all about this poem and its exercise questions. Okay, dear students, so read the following poem and compare it with the schoolboy. This is what you can enjoy. You have to read it and you can enjoy it at your own. Okay, so thank you very much. Please read the poem and try to understand the text. If you find any problem, you may make a call to me. Okay, thank you very much.